Oh, hello, Adrian.
Oh, whoa.
How's it going, sir?
It's going. I,
Is is that bad?
no, I gotta get myself to draw again.
Yeah, I feel it. Here, actually, because I know you said you were going to be doing something else, and I'm assuming you're not going to watch the stream, so I will. I'll just stream it on Discord, so you can just kind of like chill if you want. There we go. Oop! It's good. Never mind. Not detecting any input from my mic. What? Hello? Did I unplug something?
Zach?
Hello?
Hello? Zach?
Hello? Am I back?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I have
Anything of
no
what I just said?
no. As soon as I started the stream, it was like, yeah, we don't have we can't hear your mic no more.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just saying that
Adrian, you cut out. Adrian?
very helpful and
Oh, hello? Hello?
super deviant.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
I'm sorry, I appear to be having mic issues, and I know this is the second time that you've said this story, but give me a quick second. I'm gonna disconnect from Discord and then connect back.
Okay.
Wait, no. Discord.
Hello?
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 Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Cool. Hopefully it stays that way.
Did you hear my story?
I heard like tiny bits and pieces of it. Hello? Hello? Uh, hello?
Hello?
Hello, Adrian. I don't think
Back.
I'm a computer wizard.
Hang on, let me just pop in chat real quick to drop a little pog chat for you. Maybe that'll
Oh,
maybe that'll boast your.
but it doesn't make. Oh! Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Oh, it's my fucking controller.
Yeah, but it's distant.
Wait, so you can computer wizard lol. So you hear me but you say it's distant right now, yeah?
It's I can hear you, but like the sound quality is different. Now it's not as this anymore. It just sounds different.
Go. Hello, let me try this again.
Hello, I can hear you again.
Is it good or is it still far?
It sounds fine now.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out why the fuck like cuz like I could hear the game, but then I could see that you couldn't hear me, I couldn't hear you, and then on my recording I could see that it wasn't picking up my headset. And I was like, "What the hell? What's going on?" And then I realized that it was my controller. My fucking PS4 controller was picking up your audio and trying to play it through a speaker that I have disabled. This is very. This wasn't happening yesterday. I have no idea why it's happening now.
Were you testing it with anyone else?
Um, well, yes and no. There was a period of time because I have a 2 hour recording of a stream yesterday where it worked.
Hello?
Did it happen again?
Yeah, it just happened again
What
when
the
you said yes and no.
what the fuck? How? Why is it different? Why is it different than it was yesterday? Oh.
A mystery we'll take to our graves.
No, I need it to not be taken to my grave. Hello. Here, let me look. Settings. Oh my god. Voice and audio. Input device is this. Output device is
Oh.
this.
Hello?
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 Hello. Hello. Can you Jesus Christ. I looked, and it turns out that my Discord was set to automatically detect whatever device had the highest input and output quality. And despite the fact that it's a controller, it decided that the input and output quality of my controller was better than my headset.
Cool. Well,
We
is
should
that
be
sorted
good
yet?
now. We should be good now. I manually changed it.
Alright, cool.
Holy shit.
Do you
Alright,
want to hear the
please,
story a third
please
time?
tell me the story.
Okay. Well, it's not. I'm realizing it's not so much a story as it is just an explanation of what I'm doing right now. Um, so I have to draw like a character for like my D&D game that I'm making, right? I have to draw like an NPC that I'm making.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm referencing because I'm not very good at shading, or not as good as I want to be. So there's an artist who is extremely good at shading and just like very informed. He makes very helpful tutorials and stuff. But like I was just mentioning that like I was using one of their tutorials for shading, and it's very helpful. But also I'm just thinking about how this person makes like the most like deviant, like twisted porn I can think of.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I mean, fair. I get it.
Like it's
Oh.
super helpful and simplified and everything's very well explained, but also like if you look at this person Newgrounds, like you will like you better be prepared.
It's just nefarious as fuck.
Well, it's not like mean spirited, it's just really weird. There's nothing like illegal so say, but it's just all like I don't want that.
Okay. Sound settings. Input device is that. Output device. No, stop. Why would you do? God, this didn't happen yesterday. But anyway, that's a good story. So when you say that you have, there you go. Oh, there's the music I miss so much. So when you say that you really need to get back into drawing as much, are you using the context of it being for your D&D campaign to start drawing again, or are you just doing that for the sake of it?
I really need to get back into drawing more frequently nowadays, just in general, and D&D is helping motivate me with that a little bit.
All right. I mean, I don't see any problem with that.
Were you expecting to?
See a problem with it? In the sense of I don't know, because it's like when I lived with you, you were drawing a lot. Like a lot of stuff. And so hearing that not only you're like leaving, like you left the school for like personal issues, but also that you haven't really been drawing that much is a little concerning, and I'm glad that you're making efforts to like not really get back to normal per se, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I know that I noticed that both of us were going through therapy with the same school therapist, but yeah, I'm not anymore, which sucks, but I'm dealing with it as I am.
Why are you not anymore? Because the school stopped providing, or just because you decided to not?
Because I'm not with the school anymore. And
That's a good point. I forgot I keep forgetting about that. Man, that's a weird context to think about, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're not providing anymore, and I can't afford it personally. So,
Yeah.
and also, I say a lot of things during therapy that I would rather not say in my house in a video call.
No, of
Or,
course not.
so yeah. But yeah, how are you doing besides these audio issues?
Well, the audio issues, I think I've handled them for the time being, knock on wood. But in terms of like actual stuff going on, I only have the 2 classes this semester, so it's obviously not the most stressful thing in the world to deal with classes at the moment. But even with that being said, I find myself just like I don't know. Like Saba and I were talking about it yesterday because we were working on an assignment because we share a class. Um, where it's just like I have been I've been in school, like college, for like 6 years now. So I have like the most severe case of senioritis that I could possibly think of, where like the teacher's like, "All right, all I want you to do is to write your name on this paper," and I'm like, "Ah, fuck off." You know what I mean? Which is not productive nor helpful, but obviously you still got to do it. But it's like, ugh. But yeah, I guess that's what I mean when I say that those are like that's like the number one problem that I'm having at the moment is just that I want to work on the projects. Like I want to work on my portfolio. I want to work on the games that I want to make and stuff like that. I'm really sick and tired of school at this point.
Yeah,
I got a bunch of cats. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah. Well, hopefully that goes well for you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of crowns stuck in this tree.
Do you want to hear about the character that I'm drawing?
Yeah, sure. Is it a gigantic orc woman?
Almost. It's I mean, she's not gigantic, but she is tall. She's like 6'1".
No, I know. I was just making a joke about the obvious.
Right. I was just saying that wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility for me. But no, the character is the idea is like, what if someone in the Middle Ages had like a midlife crisis? Um, so the character is like a former like noble like housewife who just like sat around and did nothing for most of her life, and then as of recently, she like was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm bored, I don't want to live like this
I'm gonna
anymore.
be an adventurer.
Almost, she decided I'm gonna worship a demon and become a demon cultist.
Oh fuck! All right, that's a pretty intense midlife crisis.
Yeah, so the character,
I am too comfortable and successful in my life. Let's be a Satanist now.
well, it's more like just bored, really.
Well,
And
yeah.
it's like the embodiment of that meme where it's like, aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go apeshit?
Is that a meme?
You're not as updated on memes as I thought you were.
I don't know. I just think you and I look at different memes.
But yeah, that is a meme where it's like a picture of like it's like a screenshot of like Super Smash Bros. And it's like Princess Peach hanging off a cliff, like her like crying, like I'm gonna die animation, and then Daisy leaning over, like smile, like, aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go ape shit? And there have been a lot of variations of that. But yeah, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm drawing the character because I need a token for her for an upcoming campaign where she's an NPC.
The token
It's,
being the little profile icon, yeah.
Yeah, for both like just the little players can remember what she looks like, and also for like a little thing to represent her in combat. Um,
Is she an NPC? I'm assuming.
yes, I am DMing again because my life is hell.
Because you will never get to play D&D. Only
Yes.
DM.
But yeah, the campaign is taking place in a town called Luskin, which is like, imagine a pirate city, right? And it's like in the far cold north. And then the apocalypse happens.
Oh.
And there's monsters everywhere, and the pirates and monsters fight constantly. And if that wasn't complicated enough, then a bunch of wizards show up and they're like, hey, we're gonna be apolitical and kill all the monsters. But they're wizards, so of course they won't stay apolitical. And that's the landscape of the city. That's Luskin. There's monsters, wizards, and pirates fucking everywhere, and it's not peaceful at all. But people live there.
I mean, is there a reason why they still choose to live there? Just because it's like their home?
because there's a lot of like infrastructure and like geographically, there's a lot of good resources around there, kind of.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I don't know how familiar you are with like League of Legends, for example, but the thing that you're describing sounds very similar to the city of Bilgewater in League, where the idea is that so originally League had an event called the Harrowing, which was basically their knockoff Halloween event, right? But then, as League got more and more popular, they were like, we gotta like make this canon. We can't just have it be this weird thing. And so it's an in-universe event where basically this island of like horrible ghost monsters invades the island and kills like thousands of people every year. And like every single person has to like drop all of their rivalries and fights to like team up against the ghosts, the ghosts. But yet, for some reason, they all choose to fucking stay on the island and live there, despite the fact that they could just live somewhere else instead. So that's what your little township that you talked about reminded me of.
Yeah. And then
Oh, that's
the
fucking hilarious. I fucking plucked a woman out of the ground. That was funny. But anyway, yeah.
I was I was thinking the plot of the campaign was gonna be like the concept that started me trying to make this campaign was that I was like, you know what, I should try to run a campaign for evil characters. And so
Okay.
the idea is that this demon cultist woman ex noble is like one of the first like NPCs the party's gonna meet and ally with, and the first like the first thing within like the first like 30 minutes of the campaign, what I plan to have happen is that they're all like sitting in this like dingy bar, like a minotaur like barkeeper and like some like gnolls or something sitting in the bar, and then just like all the players are witness to like a bunch of like crusader paladins who are new in town just being like, "Hold, we're here to purify you," and then try to kill them. And that's the premise, is that there's so like for like about like a century or a few, there have been like the pirates, wizard monsters, but then recently there's been like these holy paladin crusaders a minute ago, and everyone hates them, so it's the only thing that's getting them to like cooperate is that they hate these paladin crusaders.
Okay. Because the paladins are just like self-righteous and annoying, or because they're like disrupting life.
Both, because they're self-righteous and annoying, and also because they actually legitimately have like forces outside the city who are like, you know, pitching in, and they have like the best equipment, and they have a legitimate chance of like overthrowing the balance as it is. So it's, so yeah, it's
Alright.
like these like vicious like crusaders who are like, we're going to purify you, and we have like a lot of weapons, armor, and army to do it with.
It's the classic you and what army, and then the paladins turn around and it's like an armada of ships. It's like that one.
Yeah, it's kind of a delicate balance because like the wizards have like their towers and they operate mostly out of the land, and the pirates control the ships, and then like the monsters control the underground, and so
And so
there's
the
like
paladins control the air.
well, the monsters control both the underground and the air actually, but the wizards vie for them with or contest with them. But basically, none of these factions have like the resources with them to like fully take over like the entire place itself, but except for these crusaders who do, because they have an entire church backing them, and that church is worshipped not just by people near that city, but people all over the continent.
Okay.
Um,
There's
yeah.
like I don't know, like obviously I'm trying to keep the story straight in my mind a little bit. And so it's just like there's just so much conflict. It makes me feel so stressed. You know what I
You're not
mean?
even in the campaign. Why are you stressed about it
Well,
for?
just like stressed in like the sense of like I'm just imagining the like just level of conflict that is available to the campaign, because it's just like it's just nobody likes each other, and it's just so much stuff to fight at any one moment. And I'm not saying this as a negative. I'm just saying it as like I'm like, oh, that's like kind of interesting, where it's just like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like literally at any turn, there's someone to fight, regardless of which faction you're in. Like you can fight the Crusaders or the monsters or the pirates or the wizards, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, basically. That's why I'm encouraging the players to like ally themselves with one of the factions each, ideally, because if you ally yourself with a faction, that's one less faction you have to fight. Um, and so theoretically,
What if your players choose to be like pieces of shit and all ally with a different faction?
well, that's the thing, right? If this party can draw an agent from like each faction, then like they themselves have like a little bit of maneuverability if they can like serve as like a small like thing of alliance. The only faction I'm not allowing the players to join or like be part of is the Crusaders, obviously, because it's supposed to be like an evil theme campaign.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that makes sense.
so
I
yeah,
salam alaikum. Have you ever been to the Arabian Peninsula?
me.
No, I'm playing Katamari.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking to me, and I was like, no, I've never been to this peninsula. You're talking
Peninsula. That's
this
how.
planet.
That's how. Every level. I don't know if you've ever actually played Katamari Damaci, but I highly recommend it. That's how every level starts. Is the King of all Cosmos like says like hello and good morning, but in a different language, and then makes fun of you for not going to that country. And it's like it's mean. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh,
But yeah.
I finished doing the last of my compositing today because I had like a bunch of raw just images, you know what I mean? And so I finally did the last of my compositing where I put them into like a singular image that looked a little bit more presentable, and I continue to be embarrassed because I'm sure you saw it in the Discord before, but like I don't have the wherewithal to sit through the Adobe whatever stuff to like try to get Photoshop for free, and I tried using GIMP, and god damn it, is GIMP just hard to use. And so I was like, well, I could just use PowerPoint and then just take a screenshot of what I did, and so that's what I've been doing for compositing and like all my stuff so far. Like that's like I made like a bunch of logos for all the games and stuff that are going on my portfolio, and it feels really janky because obviously that's not what you're supposed to be using Photoshop for. But it does look better than I initially anticipated. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's fine.
If it ain't broke,
If it ain't broke, don't try to look at it too long.
if it ain't broke, don't.
That's really good. And it's not even there's not even an ellipses after that. It's just a period.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't.
Oh, I could probably do a fucking super jump to get all those apples. Give me a second. Let me see if I can do that. All right.
No, I will not
No.
give you a second, Zach. You do not have a second. I will not give you any reprieve.
No. No, he's so relentless. God, it's so hard. Yo, God damn. Oh, Jesus Christ. I went to go do the apple thing like I just described, but clearly I was too large, and so I went clean over the apples, and then I bounced off like a little girl's head and went careening into a wall. I was like, oof. But yeah. But yeah, so that's that, and then beyond class tomorrow, which I have class tomorrow. I also have to learn how to do video editing. Not a whole lot of video editing. Like, I'm not doing anything like super advanced or anything like that, but I do want to get videos for my portfolio made proper, and then I really want to cut up and edit the fuck, what the fuck was it called? Price is Right that we did on game night.
What would you want to edit about it?
Cut out a lot of the fuff in between, and just edit and just make it more presentable. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I think it's I had a lot of fun, and I think that other people might enjoy it. And once again, I'm not really planning on doing any of this stuff for like fame or fortune or anything like that, but I definitely think that if I were to edit if I were to edit the video down to be like, I don't know, like 50 minutes, I could convince people to like check it out on like 2 times speed.
I don't know. I feel like there were. I watched it a few times, and I felt like it was pretty good, but it was like there was not a lot of stuff that was like clippable. It was just kind of like a good time.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was a good time. Just the idea of us like bantering about items and stuff like that. And there definitely wasn't anything like super clippable because like there weren't specific moments that were really good, which is kind of why I want the entire video as opposed to like smaller stuff. You know what I mean?
The
The
only
watermelon boy.
the
I
only
love
thing I thought was particularly clippable was everyone's reaction to the price of the Pintura al Olio.
him. I mean, obviously that was just really intense in general, so that makes sense.
But everything else is like pretty just like chill, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah. God, I'm just like I haven't normally. What I've been doing is very fast sketches, and I haven't actually tried to like get detail with someone's face in a while. I'm like, man, I'm out of practice, huh? I learned something personally that I have in common with a lot of other artists. It turns out is that I like drawing a specific type of face, and that face is like old, very wrinkled, and like super like detailed. Cause like that makes it easy to draw, and I don't know if anyone's gonna understand this that doesn't already do art. But like
I mean, why would something so highly detailed be easier to draw?
because like it's weird because I've found that as the years have gone, I've actually gotten or it's gotten harder for me to like draw cartoons comparatively. Um,
I believe that, given your constant criticism of anything that's not realistic.
cause like when you have like a really like bumpy like old like wrinkled face,
Hmm.
uh, like it's it's very easy to make it look good with just line work, whereas if you have like a smooth face like a young person's face, then like almost all of it is like about getting just the perfect proportions right and like the shading right, because there's not a lot of hard lines on like a young person's that's like smooth like face, but there are like if you look at it like an old wrinkled person's face.
So, to restate a statement that you said that was kind of interesting to me, you said that in certain circumstances, by having lines on like a character's face, you can make it look better without needing like super precise shading, right? That's basically what you said.
Kind of, but also like make it look better without like in those cases I feel like it's easier to if you're trying to draw a specific oh I guess there's the argument of like to play devil's advocate against myself for a second here.
Hmm.
I guess some people find it easier to draw like anime or cartoon people because it's like, oh, just like boom, 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 you're done. But for me, I don't know. I don't feel as satisfied with that. It doesn't feel as convincing. I feel like I have to get like just precise or something, and there's nothing. I don't know. It's a weird, complex thing about drawing that I just found that some other artists that I follow have a common thing. Where like, yeah, I like drawing wrinkly old guys too. It's hard to
Uh,
explain, I guess.
I mean, I mean, it's difficult to comprehend as somebody who's not super an artist. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like when I think about like what art is good, like obviously I can identify like, oh man, that looks really good. But I feel like when I often say like, wow, I really like this art style or I really like that art piece, it's because it's like really functional. You know what I mean? In the sense of like, and this is sort of what I wanted to get at earlier, where it's just like, because you were postulating the idea of like, oh, maybe having lines is like just kind of easier than having to like rely on shading and stuff like that. I think that's the reason why I really like the character art style of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, because it's all just super heavy lines on their faces and stuff like that, and it just looks really good and expressive without necessarily needing too much else, I guess. Like in the sense that Araki was able to do an entire chapter a week for I think 3 years solid because the characters were relatively easy to draw comparatively. I don't know. Maybe that's just me speculating though, but I just thought it was interesting.
I feel like
What are these
I don't know.
delinquents doing? They're just hanging from this gas station.
As I've gotten more into drawing, I've only gained more and more respect for like cartoonists that manage to like because like there's an art to cartooning. It's
Of course, yeah.
yeah, it's more complicated than people give it credit for, to the point where it's like it's just like not only is it complicated, but it's very hard to explain and learn, where it's like, how do you perfectly summarize this like the most efficient way possible? I think artists like Rebecca Sugar, like if you look at some of her sketchbook drawings she posts on like Instagram or whatever, they're like masterful at both being both I think cartoon is like the epitome of like it looks so much easier to do than it is to do.
Okay. That's a really interesting statement that I didn't really think of before. Because usually, like, you would assume that if something looks easier, that it's easier to do. Like I always feel like people, and I make the same assumption. Things that are like hyper realistic are a lot more difficult to do. But I mean, I'm assuming that just actually, I guess that probably just means that it's more time consuming. But that's true. I don't know. I've never actually looked at Rebecca Sugar's like personal work. I've only ever seen like Steven Universe, obviously.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like you can tell that Rebecca Sugar has it in her, obviously, to do like super hyper realistic drawings if you wanted to, but like I guess the art of cartooning comes in like you being able to show that like you have this knowledge of how to like make this super hyper realistic thing and then boil it down to something you can draw within minutes.
Like boil it down to its base parts that are actually necessary.
Right, but like I think the best cartoonists, or some of the best cartoons that I personally like, display like a knowledge of that. Where like, yeah, like it's you can kind of get an eye for like telling based on some of those cartoons like whether or not they have like a really good graphic fundamentals. Obviously, not every drawing shows this, but a lot of them do. Where like gestures animation is really good at that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like a large part of why cartoons and cartoonists can be really successful at portraying something simple that also has like depth, I guess, if that makes sense, is because of like their ability to make subtle expressions. Like just like I don't know, like once again, obviously any art style could do something like this, but it's just like I'm just like once again thinking about like Steven Universe, where like I don't know, just like watching a character's face as they speak like conveys a lot more meaning than the art overall would have to, if that makes sense. Like instead of having to like do like a whole body language sort of thing, because of a mastery of facial structure, they're able to just convey that same emotion in just this one part of the animation, which once again is functional, which is what I
Right.
appreciate.
Yeah, I think that's. There's a fucking. I hate.
What
There's a
the fuck? He
fly.
left all my fucking fences behind. Oh, there they are.
Uh,
Move to tears. I did it.
what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that a lot of it lies in like knowing exactly what to exaggerate. Because like when you look at a cartoon of like Steve making a funny face, or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, like that's like a really funny face. But like people don't make those faces normally when they feel that emotion. That's like obviously a very exaggerated thing, but like it's just not as intuitive as people might think. I feel like it's like you have to actually like really push yourself on knowing those things, which is why like you can see a lot of pictures of like old cartoonists and just drawers uh, with like mirrors at their drawing desks so
Yeah,
they
just
can
like
like
making faces and then like trying to
yeah.
replicate them.
That's why that's such a popular meme with like artists, where it's like oh, when someone walks by you when you're trying to draw and it's like a horrifying face that they're like contorted in.
um, ooh, Ursa Major. Um, what the hell was I? I was literally just about to say something. Fuck. No, it was really important too. It was like a good topic to talk about. Shit.
So about the Sword of the Ancients.
No! No, it was fuck, I don't remember what the topic was. Shit. You were literally just talking about expressions. Oh, right. Okay, so that was the thing I was going to say. So, so you said and I essentially agree with you that one of the like it's really hard to make those expressions because they're not necessarily natural to what people do. You know what I mean? But
Right.
or you don't even need because it's what you said. But anyway, um, do you think that over time, as cartoons have become like more and more prevalent, more and more like iterated upon, that it eventually becomes its own language, in the sense of like, it's true that people don't make such exaggerated expressions, but you know that there is a fucking history of cartoons that have made expressions like that, so it becomes second nature to just be like, oh, the character should do this.
I feel like that already exists to an extent. There are
Well,
some.
yeah, that's what I'm saying is that it exists already, right?
Right.
Ooh,
I don't know.
fish.
There. I'm like half brained right now because the other half is trying to draw this character right now. But
Bro, I'm the same thing because the other half is trying to play Katamari, and I'm like, oh my god, this is hard. I give the Game Grumps too much shit. But anyway,
yeah.
yes, you were saying.
I mean, okay. Just a tangent off that real quickly. I personally like. I have multitasked before, and I'm multitasking right now. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like when I watch the Game Grumps, it feels like it feels like whenever Aaron's playing a game specifically, he's multitasking three things. He's multitasking. He's like, because it feels like the amount of like brain power he puts behind playing video games and talking with Dan becomes divided into thirds, where there's a third part that is just not shown in the video, where it's like
What's
he
the
seems
third
like
part?
I don't know. It just feels like the reason I say is because it feels like he instead of like half and half feels like a third and a third, where there's like where's the other third?
What clearly he's doing something, but what is it?
It's only partially that he's doing something. It's more like this feels like there should be more brain power somewhere, either in the conversation or in the game itself.
If we're working on the tangent of just like criticisms of the Game Grumps, which I mean, who are we to criticize? You know what I mean? But you know, I've watched Game Grumps for a long time, and I even took a really long break somewhere in there because I was just like, man, it's really frustrating. And like I don't know, like I feel like a lot of the stuff, like some people criticize Aaron for his kind of immature humor every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, that's fine, right? That's like just him, right? So if you don't like his style of humor, that's okay. That's like a valid criticism to have. But it's the stuff where like he'll and people have made jokes about it, like memes about it and stuff, where it's just like he'll skip the tutorial of a game because obviously he's like making a YouTube video and he's like, all right, I gotta make this as efficient as possible. And then in skipping the tutorial, he ends up wasting fucking like 2 hours of everybody's time because he's not really paying attention to what the game has to do. And so like that in and of itself is already like not great. But then I also feel like, you know, they've been doing this for I don't even know how many years at this point, like 7, 8, 9 years. I feel like the excuse of like, come on, this is hard, kinda should not really apply as much anymore. Because it's like, you've been doing this for long enough that I feel like it should be more or less second nature. Just like the basics of like game mechanics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Aaron is not not a pro gamer per se.
And it's really
I would.
and it feels like a really shitty thing to say because I super agree with you of like he's just kind of not great at video games, even like I don't know, like even games that are not difficult, like, you know, fucking Doki Doki Literature Club, where you're literally just like, you know, it's a visual novel, there's no gameplay there. If you actually like go back and watch that series again, he was like having a rough time of like just remembering who people were. And I understand that, you know, sometimes they have sessions that go over like multiple days and stuff like that, but it's like there's only 4 or 5 characters in the entire game. How do you forget who people are? And I don't know, it's just weird. That being said, he probably has a lot on his plate. He does run an entire company now.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of things that the Game Grumps do that, like, I feel like, fucking,
Who are you trying to
so,
remember?
I'm not trying to remember, I'm trying to formulate a thought
Oh,
coherently.
okay.
Um, it's very hard because I am more like 3/4 in this drawing right now than half and half. Okay, fuck. I need to think for a second. Okay.
No, it's
I was,
okay.
I was just gonna say that I feel like Dan, for some reason, is even more egregious in that regard. But I guess the excuse that Dan doesn't claim to be a gamer or doesn't play as often, and it's like, all right, yeah,
He's definitely not a like beyond the fact that he's been employed being the co-host essentially of a video gaming YouTube channel for 7 years. It's super clear that he does not play video games in his off time, and that affords like a lot of really interesting dynamics on the show where like he'll be fascinated by really basic concepts, and it reminds you of like, oh yeah, this is something that's really cool, you know what I mean? Like when they were playing Mario Galaxy 2 and he'd be like, man, this game is beautiful, and then you look at it and you're like, yeah, this game really does look good.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
so I'm assuming that you've listened to some of, or you listen to some of NSP songs.
I've listened to a few of them, yeah.
He Dan, have you seen his newest release?
Probably not. What's the newest release?
It's a song where the concept is that he's going on a date, and the date is talking to him, and he completely zones out. And the song is called "I Don't Know What We're Talking About."
that's
And
a
the song,
that's a
the
funny
song,
concept. I wonder if that comes from his real life.
the song it's like it starts out as like he's on this date with this woman, like they're having a good time, and then like she tries to explain something to him, and he starts thinking about this like pterodactyl named Lamar who like is like a nurse in a theoretical job who like flies to work instead of driving a car, but sometimes drives a car, and like the song just goes in this like really detailed like story of
like just
Lamar and
tangential like nonsense.
yeah, it's like the plight of Lamar, and like at the chorus, he snaps back. Is like, "Oh shit, we were having conversation. Smile and nod." And then like there's a part where it's like, "How many Draculas are hiding in this room? I don't know." And he looks around, and like there's like visions of vampires hiding in the corner of the restaurant. Um, and the thing with Dan's songs is that Ninja Sex Party, like the thesis statement of that is that there's Danny Sexbang, who is like his sex crazed alter ego, and Ninja Brian, who's like a murder guy, and that's the thesis is that they go on adventures together. But like, I don't know what we're talking about. Was like everyone in the comps like, man, I'm not sure if this is Danny Sexbang or just Dan Avidan.
Of just, I believe it. Well, yeah, yeah.
And it's truly just like the most like, man, he really doesn't. And it's like I think he said before that he has ADHD, and it's like
I'm about to say he
man,
takes medication for something like that, doesn't he?
yeah, and it's like, man, this really does give you a look into the mind. But I feel like part of it. I was gonna go back to the thing about like Dan playing video games. Sometimes I feel like when he plays video games, he puts a lot of effort into the video games to the point where he's willing to sacrifice the conversation and like zone out for a second, try to tune in on it. And he also is a lot more humble than Aaron is.
Oh, by like, I'm going to assume it's because of the life trajectory that Dan has taken so far, that kind of leads to him, like affording this level of humility that Aaron doesn't really have. But then that being said, Aaron also like Aaron can be kind of annoying sometimes in the videos and whatnot, but because of his like just overly excitable, like I'm gonna say rambunctious nature, it really does play very well against Dan. You know what I mean? Like they play off of
Right.
each other really well, which is why their dynamic has lasted so long and why it's so much better now than it was before. And so it's just like, I don't know, but like, what else would you really want from the Game Grumps? Because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of don't want them to be like super good at video games, but I wish that they were a little bit better.
I will say that I will say just like to acknowledge that obviously Aaron has said multiple times that like Aaron on Game Grumps is a persona,
This is true,
but
yeah.
so it's not like so obviously he's like a chiller dude normally, but like I don't know. I feel like it's infuriating when that persona like points out like, oh, this part is bullshit, and it's not bullshit, and Dan isn't in tune enough with how games work to like call him
To,
out
to
on it.
call
So
him
like,
out on it, and
so
that
so the
well,
comments feel
it's
like they
not
have to
even
do it.
because it's not even necessarily that he calls it bullshit and then that's it. It's the fact that he'll call something bullshit and then that becomes the fucking narrative for like 4 or 5 episodes. Is man, this one mechanic is bullshit. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't feel fair. And like,
Right.
yeah, you know what? Yeah,
And
I feel what you mean.
and then the dynamic with the audience is that like, oh well, no one's calling him out in it, so it's the audience's job to do that now, I guess, which is not a great thing to have your audience do.
Yeah. Like there's definitely it's you know it's more or less keeping them honest, right? That's essentially like what it comes out to is like, okay, we're gonna keep you honest about these statements that you're making. And that being said, it's a fucking online internet show about playing video games, so it's like so it does like I don't know, you get this like weird dichotomy of it's like, well, you shouldn't be shitting on this like one mechanic or this one game or this one part of the narrative when you're actually just making those statements based on like a false internal narrative that you made yourself. But then again, does it really matter? I would argue yes sometimes, but also no. Oh, there you go. I got
Yeah.
another dog.
So I need to make realizing that I made the front of this person's skull way too small, so I'm gonna just bump it up in size a little bit.
Make them go. Their face is just tiny.
Yeah, they have a really small face right now, so make it a little bigger.
Oh yeah, dude. All those
Just-
fucking telephones.
Oh yeah, dude, all those fucking pixels. I don't know. I mean to mock you there. I just thought it was interesting.
Okay.
Because when I like expand something in Photoshop, I have to like erase some of the pixels that like aren't supposed to be there when it's expanded. But basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have used Photoshop. I have gone to Cogswell for
Right.
3 years, so I know you.
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. I didn't have anywhere to go else with that. But I will say that man, I gotta say that like I do think that on average I like the characters in Ace Attorney 5 a lot more than on average I like the characters before. And when I say that, I mean the witnesses. Like I feel like the witnesses
okay.
are generally a lot more endearing than the ones. I don't know. It just feels like the older games have like more one-note witnesses. It feels like, besides like a few exceptions that are like obviously they're supposed to be the important witnesses.
Hmm.
But like I feel like Ace Attorney 5 has a lot more like throwaway witnesses that are still like really good for throwaway witnesses.
So, if I'm picking up what you're putting down here, you're basically saying that they're not Lada.
Um, I mean, I'm not saying they're not all clones of Lada, but I mean, I won't say that they are. No.
Stop with the clones. It's gonna drive me insane.
Well, you don't like the idea that just cloning technology is publicly available?
No, it's creatively bankrupt.
You're creatively bankrupt.
No, I'm not. That's literally my job. Is to be creative.
I'm about to. I'm
Or
about
actually,
to.
it would be my job. If the IRS is looking at this, I don't have a job right now.
I'm about to wheel a fortune because I'm about to make you spin and land on that bankrupt thing by inserting this lore into the world where just cloning technology just exists and is publicly available.
I mean, you can do that. I just want more creative stuff than just Lada being cloned 1,000 times.
Here's the hypothetical, right? And I saw this in another Let's Play, on like a different channel. Actually, of
You can't
Oni.
just take things from a different Let's Play channel. That's unreasonable.
Right. Well, anyway, so here's a hypothetical, right?
Mhm.
Uh, so it's like the future where like cloning technology exists, and not only does it exist, but like recreationally, people have taken the remnants of DNA from like famous people, and they can just it's not legal to like clone like fully capable, but it's legal to clone like little like kept in like secure jar like little like recreation people.
Okay.
Say you had a tiny clone of Hitler, would you torture him and like make him feel bad or whatever?
Well, that's the thing, right? So it's a tiny clone of Hitler. That doesn't mean he grew up or did anything like Hitler did.
Right, but let's say that like they're able to recreate it so that they can insert memories, and this Hitler has all the dispositions and beliefs and like the history of Hitler up until he committed suicide.
Why? Why do I have this? Why?
because
Why do I have
because
this Hitler?
because I give shitty Christmas presents, and I'm like, you
Oh
know
my god!
exactly like
You
this.
gave me this Hitler as a Christmas present? Are you kidding?
Yeah, I'm like, hey Zach, this should be fun. Let me know
Oh
what
my.
you do with it.
Oh my god. All
Would you
right.
just would you
Well,
just would you just throw it away?
I'm about to say I'd probably like so if you gave me like a clone Hitler who had the mentality of Hitler, I'd probably just I don't know, I'd probably just throw him really far like once. Like I definitely wouldn't torture him, but I definitely don't want to keep him around.
Would you just like would you like press the button on like the future container that just like puts like a bunch of like Iron Maiden spikes through him instantly, killing him?
No, I don't want I'm not a horrible well, I did just say I would chuck him, but I guess the reason why I would just chuck him really far is because then I wouldn't have to see him die.
All right.
I guess that's it. I guess I'd put him in like a jar that wasn't clear, and then just seal it, and then just like put it in the backyard.
What
It
if
just
the jar's not soundproof and when you're sleeping you're like
he would die a lot quicker than that, I think. But I get what you mean.
uh okay. What if
It's
I
just
gave what would you do if I gave you two Hitlers?
what? What? I mean,
I come back the next day and I'm
if you
like,
gave me two Hitlers, like two tiny Hitlers, I wonder if, excuse me, I wonder if they would cooperate or just hate each other.
would you make them fight each other in a gladiatorial pit like Beyblades?
How do you make like babies? How do you
Like
make?
Beyblades.
Oh, Beyblades. I thought you meant. I
You
thought
put,
you said
yeah, you
babies.
put them in a little Beyblade arena.
How do you make anybody fight?
You tell them that if they don't fight, they will die for sure, painfully.
Adrian. Adrian,
No,
this
here's
is
the
a
situation, right?
this is an unbelievably fucked up scenario that I don't necessarily know if I want to discuss.
It's Christmas Day, and I'm like, hey Zach, here's your present. And you're like, oh cool. And then you go home and unwrap it, and it's still like Hitler in a jar, and like, what the fuck? And then like you spend the day doing whatever for the, and the next day, I like ring your doorbell, and you're like, hey, what are you here for? And I'm like, hey, so I gave you the wrong present, but the person who was supposed to give it, like they're gone. So here's your real present, and it's another Hitler.
God damn it. I don't
All
know
right,
what I would do with all these Hitlers, man.
all right. Here's a different question.
Okay. This is
If you could
exhausting
have
mentally.
a similar if you could have a similar clone of anyone from history, who would it be?
Well, okay. Once again, I'm probably going to take this a little bit further than you're intending, where it's like, what's the like so can I still have the same thing as the Hitler where like they are the person?
Yeah.
Okay, I would probably have like Jesus Christ or something. So that way I could be like, "Hey, is God real?" Like, "Hey, like is Catholicism and Christianity bullshit?"
Well, obviously he's gonna say yes, it's real.
I mean, would he? His
Well,
whole
like,
thing was that he was really honest, right?
yeah.
I'm basically insinuating with this statement that the large portion of modern Catholicism and Christianity is based on people rewriting history for their own personal gain.
Well, I mean, like, okay. Here's the thing, right?
Ooh, those were twins. Nice.
Okay, actually, hang on. Here's the thing, right?
Oh my
You
god.
you get this Jesus, and he's like, yes, God is real. But then I come in and I'm like, hey Zach, I got you another present, and it's not a clone, but it's uh like a new technology that's similar, where there's another person, but they create someone from scratch and insert memories in their head. And like, here's like if Phoenix Wright was in the real world, and then he cross-examines Jesus' testimony to find out whether God's real or not.
What evidence does he have?
He has testimony and he has evidence gathered from history.
Like all of it? How many pages are in that are in that Phoenix Wright's fucking?
Yeah.
How many pages are in there? That's a lot.
Yeah, no, I give you him, and then I'm like, oh yeah, here's all the evidence you need. And then you stand there for like 20 minutes pressing A, where it's like, this added record, this added record. And then like by the time you finish, it's like nightfall, and both of them have died of starvation.
Why did they die of starvation? I couldn't feed them?
Because they're very small, their stomachs are small, and you spent like several hours slipping through like, this was added court record.
Adrian. This isn't even. So first off, this is a fucking hilarious scenario, and I really love it. But second off, you can't just propose questions like this.
Why not?
This is like, I don't know. I feel like this is the mental equivalent of a war crime.
What's so criminal about it?
What are you talking about? Like, you were like, you were like, all right, who would you want? And I was like, I would like Jesus, please. And you're like, all right, well, what if I gave you this fictional character in addition, who then questions everything Jesus said? And I'm like, well, then I guess Jesus would be fucked. I don't know.
But what if it turns out that Jesus was telling the truth and God does exist?
And God does exist?
Would you trust the technology of these tiny, like, little, like tube guys?
I I don't know, because you're telling me that the little clone is an exact replica of the person. And so basically it would be, do I trust Jesus? Like, if he's able to give me, like, because Jesus could perform miracles. If I watch him turn water into wine, then yes, I believe him.
Okay, but like, if he can do that, how do you know that's not like a cybernetic enhancement rather than like something he was naturally born with?
Wouldn't I be able to figure that out?
You go down and there's like a little like tube like superheroes, but like they can't make them any bigger than like 14 inches or else they explode when they created.
Are you high? What's happening?
I have never smoked marijuana in my life, and I've consumed alcohol twice in my life, so no, I'm not high.
Oh, you fucking alcoholic! You drank alcohol twice as much as I have.
I did it once when I was like 14 and once my 21st birthday.
That's star 7. Where's the other one? Ursa Major. There it is. How much
Yeah,
time do
so-
I have? Oh my god, I have like. Wait, did I start at 8?
Yeah, you started at 8.
Oh, there's like another hour left of the stream. Awesome.
I get to ask you more of these no,
No, please. Oh my god. I mean, these are fine. These are like interesting questions, but my god, my brain. Because I'm playing fucking Katamari while you're just tormenting me with these non-questions.
Dude, I stopped like drawing like 20 minutes ago when I asked.
Adrian!
It's a little unfair that I did devote 100 hours brain power to ask you these questions while you're
I am still at 50%.
Well, it's because I don't know what else to draw at this point because I feel like I've made no progress for today. Yeah. So that's the question. All right. Well.
Oh my god. Okay, so real quick, I just want to explain. The level that I'm doing right now is Ursa Major, and I fucking forgot that the gimmick of this level, unlike every other level, it's all about getting bigger and picking up as much stuff as possible, right? This level is fucking chock full of bears, and the minute you pick up one, the level ends. And there's a time limit. And so it's just like, I forgot that, like, you're going to be asking me these bullshit questions, and I have to focus on the level and not pick up any fucking bears.
Right.
But yes, this is fine. I picked up a bear.
I didn't even ask you anything.
I thought the little car was something else.
Congratulations.
Man, that level sucks. I hate it. It makes my brain hurty.
Okay, here's a question that I asked someone else once a while ago, right?
Okay,
Um,
yes.
I was, it was this friend, it was this like mutual friend that I like talked to like once, and she was just like, or sorry, he was just like, yeah, let's just hang out, and we can like hang out in my car, and I'm like, all right, that sounds fine. And it turns out that his idea of a hangout was us in a car driving for 4 hours randomly throughout the Bay Area.
I mean, some people do consider that to be hanging out. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, and
I think that those people are psychopaths.
I was about to say this person revealed to me that like he was like pretty fucked up, and like an hour or two, I was like, we're pretty far from home. Can you start heading home now? Um,
It's like, nah, dude.
but yeah, no. I'm trying to remember exactly
Don't be
the.
a bear.
Okay, so what would you do if
What would you do if there were two men on the moon?
if there were two men on the moon and you were one of them and you had a big rock? I know there's two men on the moon. You're one of them, and you see the other guy's a big rock. He picks up a big rock. Um, no. What would you do if you had a clone of yourself, right?
Is this
That
another tiny clone?
no, it's a normal sized clone. It's a full body clone of yourself, but
Okay.
like the clone would be like completely inert and just like stand still unless you like you had the ability to telepathically swap location between either clone. What would you do?
Oh, this is I'm about to say this is something I've actually contemplated about before. So, okay. So give me a quick second to like think about the scenario, because it's just like, so basically it's just a vessel, and I can snap my consciousness between these two locations,
Right.
essentially.
Yes.
Okay. And then obviously the other one doesn't just like, it doesn't just get like stasis, it still exists in the world. So like if I'm skydiving or something, it would still do that. Um does the body I picked up a bear. Fuck. I hate this level. I don't want to play this level. Um excuse me. The other I'm gonna create the constellation. Um, the other clone, while I'm not in it, it still ages normally, right?
Yes.
Does it still need to eat?
Um.
Like,
Also,
does it still need to eat? Does it still need to have three like square meals a day?
I mean, do you? But
I mean, I probably need about two, but you know what I mean. Like, do I have
right,
to
right,
feed
right.
and water the
I'll
other body?
I'll say that like when you're not inhabiting one of them, it enters like a like physical stasis of like it just stands still and it doesn't need like air or whatever, like oxygen or whatever. It body like freezes theoretically.
Okay. So I'm thinking about it, right? And essentially what you're saying here is that I'm allowed to just like skip travel, basically, right? Like I just don't have to travel for like one place to another. So like if I were to have that right now, well, not even right now, like before COVID. If I had that before COVID, I would probably just have the clone at the school and just be like, "Hey, I'm going to leave this clone in a closet, make sure it's locked up while I'm not here." You know what I mean? And then I would just snap back and forth between school and home, so that way I didn't have to leave for school early. Now that's my lame answer. Now my real answer is I would absolutely have one of them that's just in Japan, like in some sort of like sakura garden, and just be like go there whenever I'm really stressed.
Okay, here's another question, right?
You're
Would
asking these ridiculous questions, and I'm trying to give you legit answers.
I'm gonna escalate it. I'm gonna escalate a little bit, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
What if you have this ability, right? What if like all of your close friends and like roommates or whatever people they associate with, you find out that all of them have two clones and you only have one. Would you be jealous?
I would probably be curious as to why I only have one and yet they have like two. I don't know if I would be jealous per se, unless there's like a method that I'm not thinking of in terms of like them having three gives them like a major life advantage.
what would you do if like they found out that you only had one clone and they were like,
And they
fuck you, it has one
discriminated against
clone.
me.
Yeah, they started ostracizing you. What would you do?
Then
Would you be
I'd be fucking pissed.
Would you want to get new friends?
I mean, does everybody in the world have 2 clones?
What if the only people who have more clones are people that you like befriend?
So
So here's the thing, right?
this
You
gives
have the
like a
ability.
horrible ulterior motive. Like people would primarily be my friend to get like their 3rd clone
Well,
or whatever.
well, no, it's not like they
Do they
don't
lose
like
the clone if I'm not friends with them anymore?
no. But like, here's the thing, right?
Then
You
then I
have
would be friends with everybody on the planet.
right, but here's the thing, right? It works such that like it just happens that like by happenstance, like not anywhere near direct causation, but like whenever you like befriend someone, you both like consider each other friends, like at some point they just have a clone now, but like this psychologically imprints on them where they like suddenly everyone that gets a clone because if you thinks they're superior to you because they have more clones than you, would you still try to give people clones?
Man, this is a fucking terrible burden because essentially you're saying like, you're essentially saying like, if I have this horrible fucking curse on me, would I still try to make friends? That's basically what you're asking. And I don't know. I would say yeah. I would still
Right.
I would still probably do it.
Because
I don't know, because like people would like, as you said, people would think that they're superior to me, but it would still be an identifiable thing of like, oh, he's useful. You know what I mean? So I would still have value in society. It would just suck because everybody would think that they're better than me.
what if no one like there was a cognitive block where they couldn't associate the idea that you were the reason they got clones?
Oh, listen, dude. There's so many fucking caveats to this. You've given like 6 caveats so far. I don't know how much further I can go because clearly you're just trying to get me to the point where I'm just like, yeah, I just kill myself. I shoot myself in the head immediately.
All right, but you wake up and your clone's there.
Right, and then I shoot myself again.
Okay.
Because there's only one clone.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, my brain need a break.
All right.
Oh. Man, fucking dealing with the beginnings of that question while doing the fucking Ursa Major level fucking sucked. That was like one of the worst experiences I've experienced in a while, and that includes the bout of depression I was in when fucking COVID was happening and I had no one in the house with me.
Well, don't you miss back when it was just what would you do if you had a stasis clone?
I do miss those times.
There were simpler times.
Those were simpler times. Those are times I understood.
Yeah.
Oh my god, these people are super strong. Oh. Here we go. There's a council of bear statues talking to a fish. Oh, I picked up a sumo wrestler. Ah.
Alright, I'm gonna watch the stream now, because I'm done drawing for the time being.
Okay.
I drew for an hour, that's plenty.
That's a lot. It's a lot of drawing.
I did just the sketch of a single face during that hour.
I'm assuming. Oh, and wait, did you say it was really like wrinkly or not?
Yeah, it was an old character.
Okay. Oh my
Like a
god.
middle-aged character.
These fucking vehicles just bouncing. Oh my god. Hello, party people. Oh, there we go. God, this person in their fucking swan boat thing. It's gonna be the death of me. Alright. I'm climbing up this wall because I'm insane. There you go. So this is Katamari Damaci.
I'm familiar.
It's a good game. It's one of my favorite games, which is why this is the 5th time I bought it.
Looks a bit shit. I'm joking, I like this game.
Although I totally didn't, like, I knew this, but I guess I never really internalized it before, prior to me. Because, like, obviously you have to set, like, a category on Twitch. And so I set my
Right.
category to Katamari, right? And I was like, okay, that's fine. The fucking when I go to put in Katamari, there was like 6 Katamari games, and I didn't realize that. I didn't realize there was so many goddamn Katamari games. Yeah, there you go. Look at all those fish. Look at all those people. Those fish. Oh, excuse me.
You know what I've been watching a lot lately on YouTube?
What?
Uh, videos that are like how to make a tiny clone of your... No. No, I'm not. I thought about it and I was like, don't say that, and I said it anyway.
It's really, it was funny though. Oh my god, these fucking cars! Leave me alone.
I've been
Anyway.
watching a lot of those videos where it's like just like interviews or like in the lives of like varying professional people, where it's like what the sumo wrestler eats in a day, or like
Oh,
what this
okay.
doctor eats in a day. It's just like learning like about the life patterns of like these random people.
I mean, that's just kind of like a fascination in general. I feel it.
Yeah, and then also one thing that I,
But are they good?
they kill time.
How about the? That's sort of what I was assuming. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Another thing that's similar is like there's a lot of videos on YouTube of like experts like reacting to like X thing that like shows this thing, like doctors reacting to doctor scenes in movies or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about like technique critique and stuff.
Kind of. But it's like I feel like a lot of times it just breaks down to like there are a lot of them that don't really give any more interesting commentary than like this is unrealistic.
This is true. Yeah.
Which is fine. That's not their job to give critique. Their job is like to be a doctor or whatever. But like
Their job is to know the information, not exactly create dialogue based on it.
yeah, and then but there are like I was really fascinated with this one where it was like martial artist breaks down like fight scenes, and both of them were like fairly accurate besides like some stuff. The person reacting, I looked it up, was this guy named Wonder Boy. That's his stage name in the UFC.
Mhm.
And his thing is that like, whereas like nowadays a lot of people do like wrestling and like boxing dominated styles where like they focus on like punches and like grappling or whatever. This
Yeah.
guy did like karate kicks, which was common, and he was very good at it.
Cool.
Because apparently they're impractical, quote unquote, but like you say they're impractical, and then you take a spinning kick to the head, and then you don't think that anymore because you're unconscious.
You don't really think anymore. Period.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just fascinated because it was like there was this one scene that he reacted to where it was just like, it was like, man, I think these people are like really getting hit because this guy's like intense, and like one of the scenes was just like it was like this it was this movie, it was this Korean movie where it was like this raggedy like kind of like traveling like martial art like Ryu type of clothes, right? Where he was just like wandering and challenging dojos and whatever, and the scene was like this like ragged, like this guy's been roughing in the wilderness, his like clothes are all torn up and he's like challenging this like professional like martial arts dojo, and like they're like squaring off, right? And like the fight starts, and immediately this guy just like front kicks him in the gut, and the guy crumbles immediately. I'm like, man, that was like so fast and violent, and like it looked real, and like the guy, it wasn't flashy, it wasn't like a big spinning, like it was this guy had like scraggy
It
hair.
clearly existed in the movie or the show for the shock factor of ooh.
Yeah, basically.
That's cool.
And then I thought there was a detail that I thought was like really funny in this like supposed to be like really serious like badass scene where he was like the dojo is like, we're not gonna challenge you, you're a filthy Korean, like we're Japanese people or something like that, and the Korean was like please, I'm willing to die for me to challenge you, I just want to challenge you. And then like he brought out like this like bamboo like chest plate, and he was like, if you wear this you will not get hurt, and I promise. And he just like decimates the first like 5 people by like fucking horrifying chest kicks and like punches, and then like then you see it just cuts, like earlier they were all like scuffing, like, this amateur will take him down easily, and then without any dialogue it just cuts to them to like the next challenger's wearing the chest piece like silent, like yeah, okay, maybe we'll wear this, And the guy earlier promised, like, if you wear this, you won't get hurt. And so when he gives him the chest piece, his tactic is just start kicking people straight in the head, and it's like, that's even worse.
If you wear this, you will not take any chest damage. And it's like, and it's just a signature for him that's like, all right, now I'm starting to, now it's time to start kicking in the head and breaking legs.
Because it's like he,
Where are those
because
trees?
it's
There they are. Quick, quick! I have 15 seconds. Oh, give me these trees. Oh, nut. Oh God, these trees. Oh. Anyway, yeah.
yeah. I was just gonna say, because like he straight up just lies, where he's like, if you wear this, you will not get hurt, and then he just kicks them straight in the head, and they're out cold. And it's like, there's one scene I thought was really interesting where like this is before the chest, where they wear the chest piece, and there's one guy who steps up, and the guy just like relentlessly kicks him directly in like the side of like the waist like 4 times. The guy is trying to move but is just so staggered. The guy stops and just stands there, and the guy who got kicked like stands there, crumples, and then like tries to get up, and he staggers backwards in, and the guy who's like reading was like, yeah, it's realistic, people have like gotten the wind knocked out like that. I'm like, holy shit, that's so violent.
That's so horrifying.
There was a one scene where like the master of the dojo was like, all right, I'm gonna challenge him next, and the guy next to him like held out the chess piece, and you can see the guy looked at the chess piece, looked at the guy fighting. The guy just completely like heel stomps someone's temple with his head, and he looks like and doesn't take the chess piece.
He's like, this isn't a good idea. I like my brain being inside my skull and not leaking out of my nose.
Yeah, and like this is so the next fight is like the challenger, the raggedy challenger, like it's just standing there in his fighting stance. The guy like gets off a kick, like a low kick to the shin, and the guy just takes it completely unflinching. He pulls back his leg, and the challenger like just like gives the exact same kick to the other guy's leg, and he's just like and like looking around like what the and he's like, I gotta look tough, and they exchange kicks for like 2 or 3 kicks, and the guy immediately like the dojo master like falls over and like just grabs his leg and is just standing there or sitting there like on the floor crumpled. And I was like, that's weird. Like, and I looked up the movie and I saw the previous fight scene, or the previous scene from just that was a montage where the guy is like living out in the wilderness and he like punches rocks and kicks mountains and trees, and I'm like, oh, that explains it.
What is this, like fucking Fist of the North Star? So, quick thing I want to say. While, like, clearly I'm playing the game while you're talking, and this is a good conversation, I want to keep going. However, the level I just did was basically the same thing as Ursa Major, where it was the first time I picked up a cow. The level ended. I didn't realize that fucking milk cartons counted. So I picked up the milk carton, and immediately the level ended. I don't like these levels.
Look, that carton has a cow on it.
It does. It's really annoying.
Well, there you go. Look, obviously you shouldn't have picked up the Scoss Milk 3.6.
I don't know what the 3 point is. The 3.6 supposed to be like percentage of fat?
Apparently.
I don't know, man. I don't like those levels. I like the levels where it's just like pick up a lot of stuff.
Well, I don't like those percentages of fat. I like it to be 1, 2, whole, or skim. I don't like 3. What is this? Like a?
What is this, math?
What is this? Some kind of food fight?
Alright, so that was that. Is it on to star 8? Yeah, I guess it is. Alright.
Yeah.
On to star 8.
I really like that movie because I watched it recently because it's free on YouTube apparently, and
wait,
it's like,
Adrian, real quick. Can you see the stream?
Yeah.
Fucking read this.
The dravs. Hello.
Hello. I mean, I want to try. It's Zdrav Stuviet. Stuviet.
It's probably a lot. It's probably a lot more graceful than that.
It's Russia. So I wonder if that's a phonetic pronunciation of like a Cyrillic word.
Probably. But I was just gonna say that I really liked the movie. I think it's called The Fighter in the Wind, because it's fucking ridiculous, but it's like great, and it's like a very old movie, and like one of the scenes is like after the first scene where like he beats the dojo like single-handedly, he like goes on to challenge several other dojos. Um, and there's one scene where like he's challenging like, oh, there's like a karate dojo, and like there's another karate dojo, there's like a judo dojo, and then like he's just walking on the street, and then a fucking ninja challenges him, and he fights a
Yes.
ninja.
Perfect.
And it's like, I'll be honest, I don't like that scene that much because like they're grappling and then they're just like doing like dirty tricks, like throwing sand in his eyes and like spitting in his face or whatever to like get out of grapples or whatever.
Hmm.
And like the ninja's like jumping off like walls to get him, but like the climax of that scene was really disappointing because they're like fighting like this wall, and like they both fall off the wall, and the wall like on below the wall is like a lake, and it just like shows the lake still for like something seconds, and then the guy walks out casually dragging the ninja's unconscious body out of the water, and it's like, that was disappointing.
So you don't actually see like the knockout blow.
Yeah,
That is a little disappointing.
but I will say the next scene is fucking fantastically like awesome because it's him, and he's just walking around in casual clothes after having been in a bunch of dojos, and then it's like evening, like the sun's setting, it's almost nighttime, and then like a straight up like samurai with a sword challenges him.
How old is this movie? Because you said it was old, but like, do you know what year it came out about?
I don't know, probably like 70s or 80s roughly, I'd guess.
Okay, that's pretty old.
Hang on, I'll look it up.
Which, quick question, by the way, because I know that obviously you're not that
Oh.
much younger than me, but when you hear 70s, do you think that that's 30 years ago?
No.
You don't? I
No.
do. When I hear
I
70s, I'm like, oh, that was only 30 years ago. Nah, it's 50.
I looked it up and it's not from the 70s or 80s, no, it's from 2004.
Oh my god.
So I was very off. But anyways, I was gonna say that so the samurai's like wearing like not like armor, but like you know, like the big like hakama pants and like the kind of like loose cloth thing.
Yeah.
He's not wearing that either. He's wearing like a leather jacket.
What?
he's not even challenging. He's like an assassin kind of. He's not. He's just trying to kill this guy before he takes over another dojo or whatever. And like this guy brings like a katana to like a fist fight, and the fight is very fun because like you see the fighter in the wind, like visualizing his head a scene of like, all right, I'm gonna he has a sword in the sheath now, so I'm gonna like grab his like sheath head before he can draw, and then just like sock this guy in the face really hard.
And then I'm just gonna punch him.
And I'm just gonna punch him in the face really hard. And he you see like the fight starts, and immediately the guy like gets cut straight in the arm, and he jumps back and like, oh shit. And so
that's really funny actually.
the fight is defensive entirely for him because this guy has an entire sword between him and his enemy, and so like he's struggling really hard. And then at one point, like the guy is like about to like go in for like a stab, and the guy like if I remember correctly, the scene, the fighter in the wind is like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking grab your sword with my hand and then punch you in the face.
Oh my god.
And he grabs a sword, and the guy like he grabs it,
Slides it backwards and just fucking slices his hand open.
No, he pushes it forward, and the sword goes into his gut, and like the guy using the distance that closes with that, just like socks the guy so hard that he breaks all of his internal organs and sternum, and just like kills him in one blow. And the fight in the wind, just like after getting stabbed in the chest, just like passes out. And like morning comes, he wakes up, he just walks away from the fight, like whatever. It's not explained.
What
he just
is he, a
recovers.
fucking JoJo character?
Apparently.
That's bullshit. That's pretty cool, though.
It is a very dramatic fight scene that I think is very funny.
You're obviously... Oh, sorry, never mind, you finished.
I was just gonna say, apparently, it's based on a real person.
Oh my god. Well, I'm assuming, obviously, like fantastic, or whatever.
Well, you say that, but it's based on the person who created a very, like, important, famous form of karate. And apparently, one of the final scenes is that he fights like 50 people that just rush at him in like a cornfield at once. That's based on a real event where he had like he invented a thing where it was like, all right, I want to flex on people so hard, I'm gonna invent a challenge where like I fight 50 people in a row. And he did. He
like
did
at
that
once or one after another.
Like immediately one after another.
Oh my god.
And so like he did that. It's in the movie, and he did it like 4 times in his lifetime. And like, just when you think that like he's like did everything, just the end of the movie shows him standing there, and then a fucking bull charges him, and he's like, "I'm gonna karate chop this bull," and I
Oh my
looked up,
god.
and apparently his nickname, one of his nicknames, is Godhand because he karate chopped bulls to death.
Holy shit, that's amazing. I wonder if that's where God Hand, the video game, got its name from.
Maybe.
Um, so I actually have two like anecdotal stories to tie into this with. Obviously you're familiar with Indiana Jones, yeah?
Never heard of it. No, I've heard of it.
No, of course you've heard of it, but like you like watched it and stuff?
I know the fridge joke, and I know the concept of them basically. I know
The
like
fridge
there's a
joke
part.
was in Indiana Jones 4. That's like in my opinion, that's barely an Indiana Jones movie. But
I will also I know the part where there's like a bunch of bugs that eat someone.
okay, so there's a scene in the first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they're trying to escape. Like essentially it's just like an Arabian like bazaar city sort of thing, like bazaar market, and one of the dudes who blocks their way, he starts doing like all this crazy fucking scimitar tricks. You've probably seen this clip before since you're on the internet.
Yeah. He pulls out a gun, right?
And he just pulls out a gun and shoots him, right? And now that's a really cool like character defining moment because he has like this like cocky smile and he just does it. There's actually backstory to that scene which actually is really weird. So fucking the guy who was doing all the scimitar tricks, he was actually a extremely famous person, like performer essentially, from whatever country, and he specialized in doing like amazing scimitar tricks. But then Harrison Ford went off script and just chose to shoot him with the gun instead because he's like, well, that's what my character would do. My character wouldn't just sit there and wait. And so like the scimitar like performer like tried to like sue because it portrayed him in a really bad light, but then because of like American film rights and stuff like that, he didn't have like a case really. And so the guy goes back to like his regular career and he gets like 1/8 the jobs that he used to because people don't respect him anymore because in this famous Hollywood movie he just gets shot.
Ouch.
Yeah, and it's like, man, that sucks. I feel super bad for him.
Yeah.
The next anecdote I wanted to share is in a similar vein of like just fucking cool fighters doing cool shit, but this one's just like a video game character. Are you familiar with the Yakuza series?
Yes.
You're obviously familiar with Kazuma Kiryu, the main character.
I know Kazuma, and I know the guy who like pops up everywhere and has the eye patch and it's like gory something.
Fucking what's his name? I think it begins with the G.
It's like Gormo or something. I don't know.
Fuck, I don't remember his name. I'll probably remember his name when I'm not thinking about it. But it's not. I keep thinking Guzma, but that's a Pokemon character. But anyway, fucking at the end of Yakuza 1, it was either Yakuza 1 or Yakuza 2. There's a part where you have to rescue like this little girl from being kidnapped, and the people who kidnapped her, their base is in the penthouse of this casino. And so he's like, okay, I gotta go to this casino, and you go to the casino, and it's actually like a gigantic golden pagoda. And it's like, okay, well, he walks in, and they're like, ha, we were expecting you. And he's like, yeah, I knew you were expecting me. So anyway, let's fight. And the dude goes like, okay, come and get me. And he like takes his fighting stance, and Kiryu starts walking forward. But then he walks forward onto a trap door, which drops him into like an octagonal pit. And then a fucking like Siberian tiger comes out like it's a fucking gladiator arena, and you have to fight the tiger in one-on-one combat in the game. And the thing that shit, sorry, the camera moved and I got spooked. And the thing that I fucking love about it is that the whole fight is just you struggling because it's a fucking tiger. Like you can't counter it. You can't do anything against it. You're kind of just existing as the tiger is fighting. And then essentially to win the fight, you have to basically survive until this event occurs that allows you to get this super heavy counter hit on it. And so it then cuts to a cutscene of Kazuma Kiryu, a normal human being with no superpowers or anything, just punching the tiger so hard in the head that the tiger instantly dies. And that's the fucking coolest shit I can possibly think of. And then not only that, but if I remember correctly, that basically becomes the second to last fight because a bunch of characters were... What the fuck? Did I just pick up the base of the street lamp but not the rest of the lamp? Anyway, there was like a bunch of people who were standing above you while you were doing this fight, and it looks like you're gonna have to fight a bunch of them after you finish the fight. But because you fucking one-hit KO a tiger, they all just quit except for the boss. And so now you're just doing the final boss fight suddenly, and it's like, man, it's fucking awesome. I love the Yakuza series.
Yeah.
Oh my god, please. There you go.
I will say that like out of like triple or double A games that I've never played because I don't play almost any of them, Yakuza seems like I would like its sense of humor, if not the gameplay.
I would definitely, like, if you ever have the wherewithal to do so, there are definitely people who have compiled really good, like, highlight videos, where it should be noted that each game is, like, pretty long, you know what I mean? So the highlight videos are probably, like, 2 hours long, and I would highly recommend just watching, like, if you ever have, like, just time on your hands, just watching the highlight videos of them, because the story is just ridiculous, and, like, if you're, and, I mean, I know that you didn't really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but, like, if you can get over the fact that the story just doesn't make any fucking sense and just appreciate the idea that it's just cool, you'll fucking love Yakuza, man.
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't mind a story not making sense, but I don't think JoJo's is cool.
I think JoJo's is cool as fuck.
I don't think JoJo's is cool, and the humor doesn't lie with me. But from what I've seen of Yakuza, I like Yakuza a lot more.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I remember there was a thing, because the only Yakuza that I essentially played was Yakuza 3, and that was like years and years and years ago, obviously. Man, I hope I'm doing this level right, because I feel like I'm not really making progress. I'm kind of just rolling around not doing... Oh, there you go, never mind. I'm starting to pick up shit now. Anyway, oh, now I'm stuck. There we go. But, there's a character in Yakuza 3 who in Yakuza 2 she was basically a victim of a kidnapping, and one of the dudes that kidnaps her rescues her but then tries to rape her. And that's like super not cool, and it's like, man, this guy kind of acts like a hero sometimes, but he's really a piece of shit. He's a mainstay playable character in Yakuza 3, and that girl, Haru, works for him. And the thing is that as she's gotten older, the stress of life living with this dude has really gotten to her. And so she eats all the time, and now she's like super fat. And the game is constantly making fun of the fact that she's fat. And characters like don't even acknowledge her as a human being because she is like so overweight. To the point where there's a part in the story where she asks, I think his name was Kazuma. No, it wasn't Kazuma. I don't remember what his name was. It also began with a K. No. Shit, never mind. I can't remember his name. Anyway, she asks him out on a date, and he basically says like, "Nah, you're too fat." And she's like, "Okay, fine. Then try to run the business without me." And she just leaves. And so she stops being your receptionist for a while. Then at the end of the game, after you finish everything, it does like this montage of like, what is everybody doing now? You know, like one of those things. And and oh, what the hell? What am I hitting it? Oh, I'm hitting this like big thing. And Haru comes back, or rather, sorry, you don't know it's Haru yet because it's this super beautiful woman. And then she goes like, "Oh, boss, I can't believe you don't recognize me even like this." And he's like, "Oh my god." And so he immediately like starts hitting on her because she's like now thin and pretty, right? What the hell is shooting at me? I guess there's a cop somewhere. She's now thin and pretty, right? So he's like, "Oh, you're like worth it now." And within seconds of her arriving back in the office, she starts going through like the filing cabinet, and she's like, "Have you not done any paperwork since I left?" And he was like, "Oh well, I'm busy." And she's like, "Oh my god, get me a fucking chocolate bar. I have to fix this." And in Yakuza 4, she's fat again, and they just treat her like shit again. And it's just like it's such like a bad message, just like through and through.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could argue against that. The idea of that being like a bad take, but
Yeah.
man,
I was gonna just like to divert from that because I don't like the taste of that in my tongue.
that's fair.
Have you seen the Worth It series?
No.
It's one of BuzzFeed's only decent fucking series that they have.
I don't believe you, but go on.
The premise is that like two dudes pick a type of food and then they go to like three restaurants. One
where it's like cheap, middle, and then expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen this. I did not realize it was called Worth It, but yes, I have seen this.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's an interesting show. It's definitely the type of content that I don't personally consume. It's a little I don't know. It's a little like modern influency type stuff. Like I don't know. Like do I really care if expensive macaroni is worth it? Because I'm not gonna buy it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like
But with that being said,
times.
it's just kind of cool just seeing it.
Yeah, I feel like usually the way it plays out is that like 7 times out of 10 the cheap food wins, and then 2 times out of 10 the middle food wins, and then one every 10 times the expensive food wins.
Well, because like that's not because like expensive food isn't designed to be good, right? Expensive food is designed to be a status symbol because it's like, hey, look at me spending all this money on food products that you can't afford.
Basically, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like the show is pretty good. I just like it. It's fun. It
I'm
kills
about to
time
say,
good.
I think the last time I watched it, it was when Janine and Lawrence were still living with us.
Yeah,
and I
it's
don't
fine.
mean us as in with you, because I forget that I lived with you. But when we were living in North Park together.
Right.
And it was good. Like I remember I liked they had like an episode where it was like cheap pizza, and it was really interesting because the cheap pizza was actually garbage, and the middle pizza was godlike, but then the expensive pizza was worse than the cheap pizza, or at least in their opinion. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Who the hell is shooting at me? God damn it.
Me. If you zoom in real quickly,
There's
I
a
put myself
tiny Adrian.
Yeah, if you had a tiny Asian in your video game, what would you do?
God damn it. Oh, it's this cop right there. I can't get him, though. He's too small.
Rip.
I think he's busted. I think he's shooting at me from literally everywhere on the map.
It's fine.
I'm trying to think. What was the last like super good YouTube series I got into? I got really into, well, because obviously I'm a lot more into like video game stuff than you are, but I got really into Boundary Break, which is it's literally just I don't know if you're already familiar, but it's literally just a YouTube series where the guy, either himself or he has other people, collect footage of people just like no-clipping around in video games. And you get to like see stuff on the map that you're not normally supposed to see. Like, I think one of the ones that really like knocked his channel out of the park. It's pretty big. We imagine to make a pretty big star. One of the videos that like really knocked his channel out of the park was he did Dark Souls. I think it was 2, and apparently in Dark Souls 2, there's just like an entire third of the map that you just can't gain access to because they cut it from the final game, and it just has like fucking architecture and models and like enemies that would spawn there but don't, and it's like hot damn. Yeah, it's just cool. I like it.
Yeah, I saw a vaguely related video. I don't usually go for like creepy videos because I'm very easily frightened and I see things in the dark when I'm scared.
Oh shit! I
but-
skipped the cutscene. Fuck.
I don't know. I saw this video and it was like SpongeBob and the Mystery of Yummer, and I was like, who the fuck is Yummer?
Fuck is Yummer?
and it was just like this guy explaining like, hey, so there's this like flash game on Nickelodeon's website, and there's a bunch of you can like inspect the elements to see a bunch of sprites that are unloaded every scene, and there's one that's just like a really creepy render of a 3D guy's beige bald head staring blankly and intensely with like hands as if he's like peeping over the side of something, and it's like, what? Why?
Wait, you said so it's like a bald man and he looks like he's peeking over something?
Yeah.
Is it the you don't know Jack guy?
No, it's
Oh.
just it's like a crappy 3D render, but it's like uncanny looking, and how creepy it is.
And so what?
And
It was just a video going over like, man, there's a lot of weird stuff on Nintendo's
well,
website.
well, no, well, first of all, Nickelodeon, but second of
Sorry,
all,
yeah, sorry.
yeah, but it was just it was not even like there's not a lot. It's just like this one weird thing, and they went over like theories and like evidence they had for like what they might have been. That cop just doesn't care.
Because I just picked up a bunch of little girls and the cops like
That's fine. But yeah, no, the Yummer was just like this creepy render, and like they theorized that like because of some like script and because he's like next to an item that has no functional purpose in the game, you click on it and SpongeBob gives dialogue and that's it. Um, they theorized they had something to do with like a thing with like this canned socks item that's just an environment thing. Because in the script there's like script for like there's like similar formatting for something with his script, and like something with like the sock script, and there's also a 3D model of some socks, and it's very uncanny. It's like, what the fuck were they planning? But apparently all of it was scrapped.
and this was like a smaller part of a larger game.
Yeah, yeah. It was just like a stuff that they apparently didn't implement, but they didn't fully cut or something like that. But
Weird.
speaking
Oh my
of,
god, look how tall that boy is.
Yeah. Speaking of, did you hear about a while ago they put creepypasta reference in the SpongeBob episode?
What? Oh, was it the Squidward's dead or the Squidward got murdered?
Yeah.
I did see. Well, I did not see it personally, but I saw people talking about it. Tell me what it was.
So I didn't watch the whole episode, but I saw a clip of it, and it was the idea was that like SpongeBob and Squidward were trapped in like this weird like dimension with a bunch of doors on like a big wall, and they had to figure out which door they had to go through. And like every door was like a weird alternate reality, where like one was like SpongeBob doing something weird, another one was like SpongeBob and Squidward like staring back at them, but they were like kind of weird. And then one was like just like a bunch of static, and Squidward squints at it, and then it like jump scares the audience with like the like him with like bloody eyes and like a blank stare, and he jumps back, and it's like the cartoonist like it's like an uncanny redraw of like a creepypasta image of like Squidward with like bloody eyes or whatever, and it's like, holy shit, that's weird and creepy, and I don't know why they put that in a kid's show.
Well, because I mean, like that one, like I don't know, like you remember Flapjack?
Yeah, but like Flapjack didn't usually involve blood, I don't think.
No, actually, you're super right. It did not usually have blood. It was usually just like horrifying imagery, but it usually didn't have like viscera.
Yeah,
the
and
blood.
like
Yeah, the blood part's pretty weird.
yeah, I feel like I'm pretty sure there's like a thing about TV shows having to be very, or like kid shows having to be very selective and like careful about blood, because like in the entirety of Steven Universe, I can think of one time where they show blood, and it's in the movie.
Yeah,
where
it's in the movie where she punches him and he gets like a bloody lip or whatever.
Yeah, he gets a bloody nose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which is kind of weird, by the way, because I feel like showcases of blood like that are reasonable. Like people getting scrapes on their knee or getting a bloody nose, like I feel like those are fine. But when it's stuff where like I don't know, there's blood pouring from their eyes, I feel like that's not good.
Did you ever see Naruto on Cartoon Network?
Naruto on Cartoon Network, no.
There's
Did they have like censorship?
There's an episode very early on that I remember very graphically, where Naruto is like, he's like at a low point, and he's like, I can't go back on my whatever, like my path or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna promise you, and then he just stabs himself in the back of the hand with a knife, and he's like, I swear on this wound, and it's like super bloody, and like blood is dripping a lot, and it's like, holy shit.
That's
and
really
then
intense.
and then like in the next scene, like there's just this like giant ass there's this guy, there's Kakashi, and then he's fighting like a guy with a big ass sword, um,
Sephiroth.
basically, but like a ninja.
So
And
Sephiroth.
so is
Anyway,
Sephiroth a
keep going.
ninja?
No, I'm just making a joke.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like he. So Kakashi's wearing like a glove with like a metal thing on like the back of the palm basically. Has like a metal plate on the back of the palm on his glove.
Mm-hmm.
And so this guy's like swinging this big ass sword at Naruto, and Kakashi jumps the way and blocks it with just this tiny metal plate, and like clearly blood is dripping from like his entire hand. It's like, man, like the first few seasons of Naruto are like really, really bloody.
I
And
mean,
they
it would
just
make. I
showed
mean, it
that.
makes sense though, right? Like when you logically think about it, because everybody's just swinging around like metal blades and shit.
Right,
Yeah.
but there's one scene. No, actually, there's one scene even earlier than that where like it's like the three kids against the teacher, and their mission is to try to get like a bell from his like hip.
Yeah.
And there's one scene where it's the girl, and when I say the girl, I mean the anime girl who doesn't do anything.
Sakura.
It's yeah, it's Kakashi being like, "All right, what are you gonna do?" And Sakura's like, "I'm gonna stand here and not
do
really
nothing.
do anything." Basically, and Kakashi defeats all of his students in varying ways. He actually has to fight Sasuke, and then he pranks Naruto, and then but then for like Sakura's thing, what he does is like he does like mind jutsu where like he shows her like a fake vision, and the vision is like Sasuke with like several knives stabbed into him everywhere, and he's bleeding heavily and
Oh my
crawling
God.
towards her on the ground. It's super fucked up for like a 14-year-old who the character is like 14 or something like that. The character just breaks down and passes out, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable response, I'd find.
Yeah, like Sasuke's like bloody, like knifed all over. It's like Sakura, and then she's like, and then she passes out, and it's like, all right, cool, that was excessive.
That was fucked up.
And it's like, is that really any better than the alternative of showing him like slapping her or something?
Of him just being like, I don't like you, you're stupid.
Because I guess theoretically there was probably umbrage with the imagery of an adult slapping a little girl or something or fighting her,
Yeah.
but that's also pretty bad. What they decided to go with.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I was referencing the idea of like instead of Sasuke being like fucking cut up and bloody and stuff, just him being like, you're stupid and I hate you.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
Just be like, no.
yeah, and like I don't remember that being censored, and it was just on Cartoon Network, and I was like, holy shit.
Things got
Yeah.
things got through before. Oh look, it's a Princess Mononoke reference. That's nice. Do you have more stuff that you want to talk about with Naruto, by the way?
I
'Cause
mean,
it-
I
'cause-
like Rock. I was just gonna say, like, almost irrelevantly, Rock
is
Lee is the
cool.
best character.
Rock Lee.
Yeah.
Rock Lee is the only character that's worth a fucking damn in all of Naruto.
Exactly.
Because everybody else is written fucking terribly.
Yeah, I will say that I'm not sure how I feel about Rock Lee's son in the new anime. Do you know this character?
I do not know of his son. Who is his son and why is he due?
His son's name is Metal Lee.
Alright, never mind. I don't like him.
And so you know the concept of the 8 gates where like he can boost his power but he like damages himself, right?
Yeah.
So Metal
Which
Lee's
becomes
gimmick,
like irrelevant by the end of the show, if I remember.
actually like guy who is like older Rock Lee, basically almost one-shot kills the final villain of Naruto Shippuden with the 8 gates, and then the guy survives because regeneration bullshit. But basically, to go back to Metal Lee, his gimmick is that he is not proficient with the 8 gates yet, but can tap into them through the power of anxiety, where he gets stage fright.
The power of anxiety.
Yes.
That's kind of funny.
It's an okay gimmick, but he's nowhere near as compelling as Rock Lee was.
Well, because Rock Lee like more closely reflects what the thesis statement of the show is than fucking Naruto does.
Exactly.
In terms of like, you know, through hard work and determination, you can overcome, you know, your position that you were given. Dude, that's creepy. There used to
What?
be a bunch of girls standing around here, and there was an old man looking at them through binoculars.
What's over? Oh, just one girl.
No, no, no. There used to be a bunch of girls over there, and then I picked them up.
Yeah, that is creepy.
That's fucked up. I
Well,
didn't notice that.
do you still want him in your ball?
Well, I want everything in my ball.
Okay.
Um,
If you had the power to roll Katamari in real life, would you literally do that for anything? Would you use that?
what the? Well, because the concept of a Katamari is like something in like Japanese culture, isn't it, or something?
I don't know, but like if you
No!
could roll
No!
up stuff,
I gotta. Sorry,
if you
I
could roll
dropped
up
the
stuff in a
present.
ball like this, would you for any reason whatsoever?
Well, the prince is doing it because his dad is telling him to. So I don't know, because like the thing is that like if I just had the Katamari and nothing else, I wouldn't have like I couldn't turn it into a star because that's what the King of all Cosmos does, and I can't do that. I can't. I fucking dropped the present now. I
Yeah.
can't find it. Oh, there you go. I found
Like-
it. Thank God.
like just would you use this ability for anything, or would you just be like, well, I can do this, and I'm alright, cool.
I'd probably just not use it for anything because, like, I can only imagine that this is fucking irreparable damage to, like, society forever.
Yeah, that's true.
Could you imagine the fucking, like, world tragedy that a Katamari being set loose on, like, New York would be?
I mean, unless someone like shoots you in the head and you're not immune to bullets.
Well, I mean, you heard that cop shooting me for, like, an hour earlier.
He was shooting your Katamari, wasn't he?
Well, that's true because the Prince of all Cosmos is too tiny to shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. 177 maidens. Pretty good.
As
So with 10 minutes left in the show, I did want to talk about a YouTube channel that Grant showed me, and I haven't checked it out since, but god damn it was it fascinating. Yes? Adrian?
oh, I was thinking about a joke that wasn't very funny.
Okay.
I was just gonna say like, what was it, fucking Poop Slapper 69?
The fuck? No. So, I don't remember the actual name of the channel, but I remember that his slogan was something along the lines of, illegal freedom. And basically, it was just this dude, I think he's British, who was super into parkour, and then he got really into trespassing. So the whole YouTube channel is him like he'll go into like abandoned factories or abandoned office buildings and just like walk around, and the whole thing is like is forehead mounted GoPro footage, and it's so stressful and just fascinating to watch because you're like, what the hell is gonna happen next? You know what I mean? It's just like. And then there's like a bunch of videos where like one of the ones that Grant likes showing me all the time was he's in like this the video starts where it's him and this one other dude in an apartment building, and they're slowly creeping around like super slowly, and they open up a door, and the second his head pokes inside the door, the alarm goes off, and it's just these two dudes fucking booking it down the hallway, like wailing down 4 flights of stairs and then sloshing through a flooded basement so that way they can leave without getting caught. And it's like, oh my god, it's so stressful. And then, oh god, I hate that. I'm going back to the champion belt, please.
Sounds intense.
What?
I just say sounds intense.
It's super intense, and then he has like not really a long-running series per se, but he has a long-standing theme where he has a bunch of videos where he literally just he starts from a general location that's not near where he lives, and then he train surfs, which is literally what hobos do, where they just like hop on a train and just ride it and then they leave. But he'll ride it into areas that you're not supposed to be in. And once again, the whole thing is GoPro footage, and it's just like he'll be hiding in the back of like a gravel train car, which is open top, right? So it's really easy to get into. But there's a thing that I didn't even realize is a thing where like they'll just have towers along the railroad track where there's supposed to be people stationed there that'll just watch the train. And if they see someone, they halt the train and they fucking arrest you. And it's just like, man, it's so interesting. I should really go back and like watch that channel again because it just had so many. Oh my god, look at all the cousins I have. It just has so many aspects to it that I haven't been able to find in anything else. What the fuck is this guy doing?
Crying?
No, this blue one.
Oh, he's doing some squats.
He's like.
So apropos of nothing you were talking about, I was reminded of a video I fucking adore. I want to send it to you and get your reaction on stream.
Okay.
It's
Ooh,
only 15 seconds long.
This guy has a. This guy has a fucking. There you go. Look at him. He's the tennis ball.
The video is only 15 seconds long. It's not that long.
Okay.
And you might have seen it before on Twitter, but you might not have.
I might not have. All right. Let me save and exit, and then
Sure.
I'll watch the video. I have 5 messages from Grant that I should read.
Sure, but I want you to react to this video.
Yes, I will react to the meme. I will react to the meme first, in fact.
Sure, cool. Thank you.
Alright, there we go. Alright.
But let me know if you've seen it before.
Goodbye, Katamari. Alright, exit Steam. Alright. Let me look at this. Where is it in Obo stream? Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's in the Twitch stream.
Okay. Grabs him. Pulls the thing off. Oh, yeah. And then just slaps him a bunch of times. Yeah, that's really good.
It's a very good video. There's
What game
remember-
is that? Do you know?
I think it's called Blade and Sword or something, or no, Blade and Sorcery, I think.
Blade and Sorcery?
It's a
Okay.
VR game. But yeah, do you remember that time that I DM'd for you and you played as a monk in D&D?
Sorry, say it again.
Remember that time a while ago when I DM'd for you and you played as a monk in D&D?
Yes, of course I do. And I was just playing Hajime no Ippo.
My friend and I joke constantly that video is what Flurry of Blows is.
Sure.
Yeah, crucial is the fucking like stretching out the fingers like part. That's crucial to the technique.
That's really funny.
There's so much about the video that I love. Just like you can tell how emotive he is just through his hand gestures, everything.
I've seen the reason why I ask what the name of that game is because I've obviously seen like a bunch of maybe from the same guy, who knows, but I've seen like a bunch of clips from it where like there was another one where dude comes up with a sword and he grabs their wrists. And the dude's like, and the character, like the actual NPC goes like, "You'll never defeat me," and the guy just fucking pulls out a gun and then shoots him in the head. And it's so good because it's just hot. You'll never defeat me, and before he even finishes the sentence, you see the gun come up on screen, and it's just bang. And then there's it's a different game, but it's kind of similar in terms of like how ridiculous it is. But there's another game where you play. It's basically like a sandbox simulator game in the sense that it's like a big medieval, like open world-ish type area, and you play as a wizard. But you're a wizard that already knows all the crazy fucking apocalyptic level spells.
Oh, I've heard of this one, and it's basically like or I think I've heard of it. It's the one where you basically just like get to destroy houses and shit.
So you can do a lot more now because the game has been updated like a lot. I should look into it. I should find it. I think it was like Fascininium or something. It began with an F, but so it's like one of the first videos that I ever saw in it. One of the first clips. It was literally just like dude is like walking up to a castle, just kind of like leisurely, and then like a bunch of guards come out, and the king from the balcony goes like, "Begone, sorcerer! You have no power here. You cannot stand before the awesome might of." And then at that moment, like as he was talking, the sorcerer was like doing hand gestures, and at the moment as he says the awesome might of a fucking meteor comes down and just obliterates the entire castle, just killing everybody. And it's like, oh my god, that's amazing. And then there was another one that I thought was really good, where uh, it was uh, it was like two armies that were fighting, and the idea, I guess, at least the idea that I got from the video, was that it was like a red army versus a blue army, and the wizard was on the blue army side. And so he's doing like fireballs and force blasts and stuff like that, but there's a lot of dudes. And so the guy just starts channeling his hands, like rubbing them together, and a bunch of electric sparks start coming out of it. And then he goes buzz, and he like zaps one of the enemy soldiers. And because everybody is wearing metal, the lightning bolt just keeps arcing and killing everybody. And so you just see like this wave of death just wash over all of the enemies, and it's like, yeah, you did it. But then the arc continues washing over, and it goes to the blue army side, and then all of them drop dead too, and then the wizard just kind of goes, oh, and then leaves. And it's so good. It's so funny.
Speaking of comedic timing, have you seen the Oblivion I Love Dogs video?
No. You have exactly 2 seconds to send it to me, because otherwise the
It's
stream is over.
it's 8 seconds long, and it's a perfect example of comedic timing.
Okay. Uh. I feel like I've seen this,
I'm
but let me...
Rena Bruyant. I love dogs. Doesn't everyone? Bye. What?
Oh! Oh! I
Just the
love dogs right as the NPC just fucking slashes it.
dude, he's not he's double fist punching that dog.
Oh, I thought he had an axe.
No, he's got both. He's got like he's like Captain fucking what's his face. I think Captain Kirk double fisting this dog.
Man, that's fucking awesome.
It's a very good video. But anyways, it's I believe it's the end of the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the end of the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. I feel like we learned a lot today in terms of how difficult it is to have like a decent conversation while doing something else. But I feel like we did pretty okay.
I don't know. I feel like I carried pretty hard with that clone conversation.
You weren't even doing anything else. I was fucking playing Katamari while you were bombarding me with nonsense.
Yeah, but it was effective.
Oh my god. All right.
All right.
All right. Good night, stream. Good night,
Later.
everyone.